you so much. Ukraine's massive power outages are the reason why communication is so touch and go for my next guest, Ryan Hendrickson. He's a former Green Beret who's on the ground in Ukraine. He's working to clear explosives left behind by Russians. He actually does not have power where he is right now in Mykolaiv. Ryan, thanks so much for joining us and for what you're doing. Tell us what life is like for Ukrainians when they lose power like this in the freezing winter.
First of all, I really appreciate you guys having me on. This is great. But second, yeah, it's you just
looks like he froze up there for a second. All right, he's back. Let's try it again. Yeah, this is the problem. We're illustrating the fact that power is so touch and go, and your signal went out just a second ago, Ryan. Tell us what life is like for Ukrainians where you are.
It's cold. I mean, the electricity is touch and go. Hirsan, that's where I work at, demining. It just got pounded today with indirect fire, and so it's more power outages, and the temperature here is just dropping, and it's dropping fast. And when the temperature drops, well, the civilian population suffers.
You were a special forces engineer with the Army. You did 8 tours in Afghanistan. Now you're in Ukraine on your 3rd trip there. You are there, obviously, voluntarily. Tell us about why you felt called to go.
Yeah, so after Afghanistan closed down, I left Afghanistan in July of 21, and I had this purpose that I used to have and I didn't anymore. And once Russia went into Ukraine, February 24th, I had this nagging feeling that I needed to do something more. So I quit my job and headed to Ukraine to see. Basically, at first, it was just to see what kind of trouble I could get into. I didn't want to fight. I've had my share of that. I wanted to help in different ways. And as my time in Ukraine kept going on, civilians just kept getting injured and killed from these left behind, either booby traps, landmines, clusters, or anything else you can imagine that's an explosive hazard. And I knew from my time as a special forces engineer that I could help in that way. And so that's what I dedicated my life to, was returning to Ukraine and helping demine here.
Your work in Ukraine involves searching for landmines and cluster munitions in fields. How do you find the explosives? And explain the importance of your work.
So how we find the explosives with the clusters right now, it's kind of a race against time because they're on top of the ground. As Mother Nature takes over and those clusters start to get hidden, then the dangers go way up. But as far as landmines, whether it's anti-tank, which is anti-vehicle, or anti-personnel, we use our CHEA mine detectors. And that's basically, it's just very, very slow movements. And you're just checking everything because each landmine or cluster or booby trap found is one life or limb that we save. And the reason why it's so important is because I've stepped on a IED in Afghanistan myself. And so I know the pain that goes with that, and it changes your life forever. And if I can save one child from having to go through what I went through, then yeah, it's mission success right there.
And Ukraine's defense minister told our reporter, Will Ripley, that Ukraine desperately needs more weapons from the United States, from NATO countries. CNN's reporting that Russia is now using 40-year-old ammunition as their supplies run low. How thin are you seeing supplies run on either side?
I'm not really in tune to the supply or the logistics of the Ukrainian armed forces. I do know for sure that we recover a lot of unexploded ordnance because of the age of these ordnance that are being used in this war on the Russian side. But as far as the Ukrainian side goes, I'm not really tuned up on their logistics.
Well, what you're doing is just remarkably brave and selfless, Ryan Hendrickson. We thank you so much for your service and your time. We hope to have you back again.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And yeah, if anybody wants to check it out, it's just landmineremoval.org. Post all the videos there, and you can see the work we're doing.
Awesome. Landmineremoval.org. Thanks so much, Ryan.